Hi, I am Diane Morton-Gattullo, and I am the host of Warehouse 34. And today I am joined with the crew over here at CTV, which is absolutely amazing, by an extraordinary organization that everybody in Staten Island knows, and if you don't know, you should know. I am joined by Paloma and Christopher from the JCC, and before they introduce themselves and say their names and the formal name of the JCC and everything else, I want to remind everybody during the season of giving and the holidays where everybody's home enjoying their families, that there are those who can't. And we all think of New York as this great little snow globe, and all these amazing things happen here. But there are so many people in New York who do not have the same experiences and need that extra hand. And in Staten Island, we are extremely unique that we have so many helping hands to help those who are part of our community family. And you guys do an extraordinary job. You really, really do. Your food pantry is amazing, and everything about your organization. So before we get into everything, please share with our viewers who you are. Paloma.
Hi, my name is Paloma Wasserstein. I am the Director of Social Services at the JCC, and this is Chris, our pantry manager, and we're here to talk about our pantry mainly and of all of other services that we offer. That's
amazing. Chris, what's your last name? Because you should have a last name so everybody knows it.
I'm Christopher Springer, Food Pantry Manager at the Joan and Alan Bernicow JCC of Staten Island building located on Manor Road.
Everybody passes it one way or the other to go somewhere in Staten Island, and it's an amazing building. It really is. It's fairly new, I mean, compared to most of the other not-for-profits on Staten Island.
Absolutely.
But it just services the community in a way that is extraordinary. It really, really does. So tell me about your food pantry.
So I've been the manager at the food pantry for about 10 months now. I was hired in to eventually have a digital component to the pantry, which is in the process now and will be done in the future. I have some stats that I want to go over, just, have a little insight of who I serve and how many people I serve. So last month alone, I serviced 718 adults, 288 seniors, and 368 children. So that's about roughly 200 different families a month. On average, it is about 200 different families. On average, it's about 436 children, 683 adults, and about 264 seniors on average, let's say in the last 7 months.
I wish you told me one, because I think it's so sad that so many people are coming through your door and they need that kind of help. But I know that when they go through your door, the experience is unlike others.
Absolutely. So, and we, over the last couple of months, have just had a big influx of Ukrainian refugees alone, as besides our regular new clients that we get on a weekly basis. But between them and some migrants that are here on Staten Island, we do have a lot of new clients coming through the door, and we try to give the best experience that they can get.
Tell me, because it takes a village. You have a team of amazing people, and how does that work?
So I will say the pantry runs primarily off of volunteers. I do have one staff member named Thomas who is absolutely amazing. Without him, I wouldn't be able to run the pantry the way I do. But we run a lot off volunteers, and that's what really drew me to the position, and the fact that the pantry does run on volunteers. I have a big history in volunteering myself. I always tell the story of my 18th birthday. I went volunteering at High Rock Park, and we planted, I think, about 600 to 800 trees that day. Wow. I didn't have to do it, but I wanted to do it.
Right.
And without my volunteers, we wouldn't have a pantry.
Are you from Staten Island?
So I was born in Brooklyn, but I moved here.
Everybody knows I love Brooklyn.
Yep, so
but I live here, and I love Staten Island, too.
My mom had a hair salon on 86th Street called You Look Marvelous.
I'm sorry, what?
Yep, so it's...
You Look Marvelous is your mother?
You Look Marvelous.
I'm from Bay Ridge.
Yep, so I lived on Bay 13th for a while, moved here in 2nd grade.
It's 6 degrees of separation for us. Oh my goodness. Oh, we have to talk off camera. Okay.
But I've been here for a while. I've did some time upstate, you know, lived up there for a little bit, came back. But yeah, very, very Staten Island.
Well, High Rock and the JCC are,
Right there.
they're neighbors.
Right there. Beautiful park, by the way.
It is. It truly is. So I would be remiss if I did not say, yes, I know about your organization. I think everybody who's in my family, I have family up in Lighthouse Hill. So the JCC has always been something that, we know about, and we're extremely grateful to have them as neighbors within the community. But you have one volunteer who is extraordinary, and I absolutely worship the ground she walks on. And she speaks so highly of the organization and her experience. So it's not only the clients that she serves, it's the people that volunteer with her and the people who really create that whole experience at the JCC. And her husband is a great volunteer now that he's retired from CBS with me on the show, and his name is Joe Bazzina. But he is overshadowed by his amazing wife, Antoinette Bazzina, who's off camera right now and will not come on camera because she is just too humble to be here. But I mean, how did you get the caliber of people like Antoinette to come to, volunteer for you guys? You must be really, really like off the hook crazy. Great.
So I will say, at the JCC we have a volunteer coordinator named David Lusker who does amazing work and gets volunteers for all different departments within the JCC. And fortunately for me, I got to the JCC and to that pantry, and most of my volunteers were there already. They were there. They have more seniority than I do, but they very much made it a very easy transition for me. They taught me. They helped me just snuggle into that position, and they really have been supportive of the changes that I've made. And how things are going, and I owe a lot of credit to them, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here doing the great work I'm doing comfortably and efficiently without them.
That's wonderful. Where do you get the funding from this, and how do you get the product to service so many people?
So one of our biggest people that we deal with, company that we deal with, is Met Council. We also deal with Nourish and Food Bank. We also get grants. We are a nonprofit. Without our grants, we wouldn't have that extra stuff that we're able to order. Just yesterday alone, I was able to order some dairy products for Hanukkah, and without those grants, I wouldn't be able to order that. So that is very important.
Amazing.
We have very good connections. Our board of directors and just our board members in general just have really good connections with people, and we have an amazing grant writer who is able to get us these grants to get this money.
Wow, it truly takes a village.
It does. And, we have a lot of things at, the pantry that we take pride in, and we are the only kosher food pantry on Staten Island, and that is a big thing.
It is.
We do have client choice, where when you come up to the pantry, there is something set up where you can see what we have, and you can tell us what you want. You're not just waiting online for 2 hours to grab a bag of something that you maybe don't want. We also space our appointments out 15 minutes so that when you're there, it's a private experience. We want everyone to feel comfortable. And, every day we're always trying to think of different ways in which we can make it more welcoming and just appealing.
It sounds like you're giving the experience for them to have dignity and be respected.
It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
I have a trip coming, a class trip, and I've done a class trip before. And, when they come, we talk about wants and needs. And we don't necessarily want food, we need food. Without food, we can't survive, and that's very crucial, and that's a big thing for people to understand, that it's that important. We can't survive without our food. And for certain groups of people who can only eat certain types of food, being a kosher food pantry opens the door for the whole community, which is, in my opinion, very important.
You have the ability to service anyone, though.
Absolutely.
So it's not just exclusively...
So I will say our biggest active zip code is 10314. We have 1,304 active clients. Now that may be seniors, children, and adults.
Sure.
But it's from that zip code we have the most. And reason being is because of the large Jewish community that is in that area. Mm-hmm. But we service tons of people from all different communities of all different walks of life. It doesn't matter. We don't discriminate. Food is food. You need it. We want to give you what you need. And like I was saying before, like we have a lot of Ukrainian refugees that are coming, seeking refuge here in America, and a lot of them are on Staten Island. And I think it's a lot more than people think.
Yes.
So we service everyone. We do not discriminate about anything. We don't mind your religion, anything. It doesn't matter. You're able to come.
If somebody wanted to donate on a personal level, they can go in and donate products,
So-
like canned goods and things like that?
So currently,
Or if like schools did canned,
yeah, absolutely. So like tomorrow I have a trip coming, and the school is actually bringing me donations. So the food pantry itself, I can only take kosher items because it is a kosher food pantry.
Right.
But I do accept items like books. I do give out lots of books.
Most people don't realize there are so many things that they consume every day.
So many
it's
things.
kosher.
Yeah.
And they don't realize.
So anytime you pick up a can in your local grocery store, you see that U or that K
Yeah.
or that star on your can, that's kosher. You don't even know you're eating it. And that's why, to me, food is food. But for that certain community, they need it to be kosher.
Right.
And that's the biggest part, but everyone's eating kosher food, you just don't know it.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny. But I will take almost anything when it comes to donation. I've taken socks and pantyhose. I've taken adult diapers. So I recently just did a giving drive. So my giving drive is for my pantry clients as well as the asylum seekers on Staten Island. There's a lot of babies being born and pregnant women, and even in my own clients. And we did pretty good. We got a lot of formula, diapers, wipes. I've gotten clothing, pacifiers, shampoos. So moving forward, we're going to try to have more opportunities to donate.
I wish I would have known that, because when the people arrived over at the Comfort Inn,
Yeah.
my daughters and I, on a personal level, went there every night, and out of the back of our trucks, we're serving food. And I was able to put the first 2 days 36 people in shoes. By the end of the week, 98 people in shoes. And they thought I was nuts when I went to the store and started buying mass quantities of shoes. So my weekends, in the nightclub business, so what I had made in the weekend went to buy shoes. And it just, because I felt you could not do anything unless you had a pair of shoes on your feet.
And
Like
a lot of
that's
these
the
people,
most important thing at that point.
Oh, absolutely,
Food in your
'cause you can't
stomach
get
and
anywhere.
shoes on your feet.
You can't get anywhere without shoes.
But I really wished I would have known that aspect.
So I still haven't
That's why you
dropped off
guys are
donations. So
multifaceted,
yeah. So like moving forward, we would really like to have something along the lines of like maybe a wish list that people can donate if they can't come in.
Right.
But I'm always actively like taking donations. I love children. I have 2 children myself. I come from a DOE background, so especially if it pertains to children, I would love to have any donation that anyone can bring in. It's well appreciated. It goes to a good cause. These, a lot of, especially the migrants, they came here with just the clothes on their back.
And very little at that point. The ones that I was seeing were wearing, and it wasn't the issue of should they be here or not here. It's the point that they are here. And
Exactly.
as an American, I could not watch somebody wearing pedicure sandals,
Yeah.
flip-flops that are disposable items, with little nightgowns on children, when grown-up people who were supposed to take care of the children wearing clothing that was, for something that you would wear deep in Florida.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were literally freezing and starving. And I don't speak Spanish, but my older daughter does. And she was able to, figure out and communicate for me. And we've been trying to fill their needs. And a documentary filmmaker followed me around a little bit over there.
It's cool.
And it's kind of grown, like a grassroots type of thing. But I don't know. This is kind of like an aspect that I didn't think we would talk about because I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So how many other people don't know about this? This is something that we need to
Yeah.
share. And I
Yeah.
think that if the DOE people, there's a lot of people who watch the show who know I'm from the DOE as well. And I think that we should talk to the parent coordinators. I think that we should see if we can get student council who need to find community involvement projects to do some sort of collaboration with you guys.
Absolutely, and I take volunteers that are students. Like I said, I'm big into volunteering, and I know the students.
I'm in
need
elementary school, so we
Okay.
couldn't promise that part of it.
Yep,
That's more
yep.
of like a high school.
But if
junior.
anyone in high school,
Yeah.
anyone that's watching that knows a student or has a child that needs service credits, we're more than happy to help them with that. I like getting the students in, I help give them that experience. Working at a food pantry, volunteering at a food pantry is very different than volunteering in other places.
I've made like I have a lot. I have 2 daughters, and my daughters volunteered at a very, very young age. And they went to soup kitchens and handed out food to people. And it is a very humbling experience for a child to do that, to understand that it's not about the Xbox, and it's not about, and thank God my kids didn't become those kids.
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to do with my husband and I being so involved with community-based organizations and doing those things. I would throw a lot of galas for one organization I used to be the board chair of. And instead of doing, I'm sorry, the florists who are watching the shows, instead of doing flower centerpieces, I did canned food centerpieces. And everybody could sculpt it, bringing in their own items.
That's awesome.
And at the end, I made the kids of the parents who were part of this organization come with my daughter and I to a food pantry and give everything. And they got to stock the shelves. And they got to see the look on someone's face when they saw that going on the shelf, like, oh, geez, oh, I love that. I'm so excited. It really, it was so impactful.
My
So
7-year-old
impactful.
daughter has come a couple of times to volunteer with me at the pantry, stock shelves, and help hand out some food. And I think it's very good at a young age to see that.
Yes.
To know, like, we should be grateful for everything we have, because there may be a day we don't have enough money for food. And, with the prices going up of food pantries are, feeling it. And that's why things like these grants and funding is very important to be able to compensate for the lack of food that maybe is circulating through all pantries, not just my own.
Amazing. Paloma, I'm sorry. It just became such a passionate conversation, but there's so much more to the JCC than this. Although I think we could just do a whole episode strictly on your food pantry, and you may have to come back.
And he's very passionate about it. And
Yes.
we can talk about it for hours.
Yes, it's not just the hat. It's the passion behind the project,
He really believes in what the pantry means.
and it shows. Share with us more about the JCC.
In connection to the pantry helps people in several ways. When you bring somebody into the JCC that's looking for food, we also can offer other services that are connected to getting food. It's just not food. It's like, what else do you need? What's happening in your life? What's going on with you? How can we help? So sometimes getting into the pantry opens the door for people to learn that they can maybe apply for benefits that they didn't know they could apply for. We can connect them or enroll them into programs like SNAP. We can connect them with health insurance help.
Wow.
We can connect them to legal services. We can connect them to utility assistance programs, like all sorts of benefits, all sorts of help, even mental health. We can connect them to support groups. We can also connect them to career services. We have a wonderful department, Career Connections. We currently have great classes, IT support. We have a cybersecurity class coming in. It's about 40 hours, I believe.
Wow.
And they get a certification. We help them through the whole process. We help them doing the resume, sending the resume around, like interviewing, like what should you do, what can you wear. In any way that we can help, we want to be there. And this is something that you mentioned before, in the same way that, yes, we have a kosher pantry, but it's open to everybody. The JCC is open to everybody.
That's wonderful. That really is. Many years ago, we had 2 students, and they were Middle Eastern, and they lost their parents. And and they were really good boys. And their parents were truly, they were important to us, and they were an important part of the fabric of the school. So we wound up collecting some money, and we sent those boys to camp at the JCC because it was something that they needed to be in an environment that they could feel the love.
Welcoming.
Yes. And I mean, they went from two really loving, very involved parents, hardworking parents who just did everything for these two boys. They came here to give them a better life, and like that, they were wiped off. And these two boys were left as orphans at, a fairly uncomfortable age. They had already graduated from the school. They were junior high going to high school. How do you go from mom kissing me in the morning to both parents are gone, and it's just, two boys? And that was something that, even though they were no longer our students, we felt it was important that we let them know we love them and that we were trying to take care of them. And we collected money, and we sent those two kids. And they were kind of like at the age where they shouldn't really be at camp, but JCC was really good about it.
Yeah.
The camp is wonderful there.
Let's do whatever. And I know that it was, because I kept in touch with them for a long time. I know that was a huge part of their healing process.
It's very welcoming at the JCC.
Yeah.
I mean, as a staff member, I could say the people that I work with are absolutely amazing and did nothing but welcome me with open arms as soon as I started. And that's something that I strive every day when I'm at my pantry, no matter what. Everybody who walks through that door is going to feel welcomed. They're going to feel like they're just one of us hanging out. They could talk to me, and most of my clients, and you've seen how many I have, they know me by first name, and I know most of their names, and it's become, really nice to have a relationship with them like that.
This is extraordinary.
Going back to the camp that you mentioned, I just want to also add that we do have a camp for children with cancer and their families that is completely free of charge.
I did not know that.
Sunrise.
Oh my goodness.
It's called Sunrise.
That
is wonderful.
That has to be a moment.
Very humbling. And
Yes.
that there's a lot of people that volunteer at the camp too. So it's a community. It's a community.
How did you wind up coming to the JCC?
I'm very new at the JCC in this position, but I actually started first volunteering a while ago, and then I started teaching art classes, which was my first career.
Love it.
And
Art's so important.
Yeah.
Art therapy is amazing.
And it was because I was working with the CLLD, our senior group, that I started getting interested in social work. And that's how I ended up going to school for social work. And now I'm back to the JCC as a social worker.
Wow. Oh my gosh. It's like full circle with the
Yes.
JCC.
Yeah.
On every level. I mean, there's just so many orbs spinning with this.
Yeah.
Imagine, though, the two people who actually started this. This is like their little dream and personal desire has just blossomed into an incredible experience for all of Staten Island.
And JCC is everywhere too, more than people think. The JCC is in schools. That's how I started at JCC. I started at a compass program at PS 65. When COVID hit that first summer, that's when I started working the camp. And people don't even realize that JCC is everywhere. Not only do we have the Burn-A-Cow building and the Avis building, but we also have school locations, and we're also
It's about
in school
30
education.
sites.
Yeah, altogether, it's a lot. And so not only do people don't know what we have, they don't even know that we exist in the spots that we exist.
I think that's insane. I mean, they need to know more.
Yeah.
Is JCC exclusive to Staten Island, or are they off the island as well?
The JCC is everywhere.
It's a very large organization, international.
Oof.
Yeah. Big company.
So looking back at your 10 months and your volunteer, now employee, and your whole, tell me, at the end of the day, when you put your head down on the pillow, is there one person that comes to your mind where you say, I'm glad I was there, I was able to do this? You don't have to say their name, but do you get that closeness with someone on such a level where you go, I feel really good about what I did today.
So I will say my job is extremely rewarding. I'm not just the manager of the pantry. I work the pantry. I interact with my clients, like I said. I know them on personal levels. I get to know them like as much as I can. And there's always, at least a few times a week, there's that one client that really sticks out that, really says like, thank you so much. Like, and like, you just know that like, if I didn't give them what they got, they probably wouldn't have eaten. And, for me, that's the best part of the job, is to be able to help anyone who I love to help people. I think I care sometimes about other people more than I care about myself. But just the fact that I'm able to help these people on a daily basis, but then those every now and then those ones that really,
Right.
It's a nice feeling, and it's nice to go home and tell my children like, hey, Daddy feels great because you know what, I did really good work today. Like I really helped someone in need, and I did my give and drive. I donated my own stuff. I have 2 kids. I know what it's like. I need to eat just like everyone else. So, just because you aren't in their shoes doesn't mean you can't understand their needs.
Right.
And some clients like to hold it back. They don't want to show. They have pride. But some of these clients, man, they let go, and it really touches your heart. It really
I think
does.
it's also because you've developed that comfort level with them.
Yeah,
Because everybody will have the pride where they don't want to acknowledge.
absolutely.
But once you get past that, it's like you're not looking at them in the way that they feel, uncomfortable. You're looking at them like, how can I help you, as opposed to why are you taking?
Exactly. I mean, just,
and that opens the door to every emotion.
when I first started, so we have stats on like how people even book their appointments, and like when I first started, like you were talking about, like under 45% of appointments were made in the pantry. Now it's upwards of 77% of my clients will schedule their appointments at the pantry. They like to sit, they like to hang out, they like to interact. And I know it seems like silly. It's like, oh well, they're just booking their appointment, but that shows that people, instead of they're like, oh no, I'll just do it myself, I'll go home. They want to interact. They like talking, like they like being there. Like these, people really look forward to coming to the pantry sometimes just to talk to me. And that makes me feel really good about myself and about the pantry and just about the JCC and just how they really do welcome everyone in. And it's like a sense of belonging.
You're going to make me cry over this, and if I do cry, my eyelashes will fall off, so we cannot have this happen. But tell me, so they can make an appointment at the pantry, they can visit the pantry. Are there classes and things like that that they can participate in to keep that whole community involvement?
Yes, absolutely. So we have just
Yeah.
partnered with Food Bank right now, and in the future we're going to be having some cooking demos and tastings. We've had one already. I also have DoorDash deliveries. So we were picked for a DoorDash pilot in order to get homebound individuals food if they can't come into the pantry. So we do offer that as well. And moving forward, we'd like to just do more, the most that I can. I'm looking into a couple of things and whatever I can get done.
DoorDash.
Yeah, DoorDash.
Aren't you cool?
So that was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a big one. And right now, moving forward, they may end up having a surcharge. Excuse me. We're trying to do everything that we can to ensure that even if they charge us to do it, that we're still going to be able to get this service to our clients, because I feel like it's very important. A lot of my clients are elder. A lot of them are homebound. I have a volunteer myself that, she's been gone for months because she got hurt. And if it wasn't for DoorDash delivery, she wouldn't be able to get her food. And, to me, it's important to have this available to people because not everyone can come to get there. Like, not everybody can afford to be able to come to the pantry. We are in a kind of accessible location, but if you're someone who's older, you can't maybe take the bus or the train.
Sure.
So it's very nice to have this program that we have.
You had a tasting already there?
We had one so far, yeah.
And tell me about that.
So it's on whole grain items. So we do get a lot of whole grain and whole wheat items that a lot of people do shy away from. I understand that they're not always the best tasting thing, and I can attest to that. So to be able to have these this tasting that we had, this demo, they gave a recipe, they showed how you could take this, it's whole grain, but we could still make it taste good, to try to make it more appealing to my clients, to have like a better choice, a healthier choice. And like we always do take a lot of pride because we do have healthy choices. We do get fresh produce sometimes. I do get chickens and different types of fish in. I do get dairy products in. So we try to keep that healthy initiative going. I know that you need to eat, but why do you need to eat poorly when you can eat good quality or just nutritious food that is available to you? So we all know that we shy away from something.
You have some great one-liners.
Yeah.
I got to say, you do. Really great one-liners. I know that my husband, I don't cook. My husband does all of that stuff because it's the industry that he's in. But he sneaks like healthy things into my diet because I have the palate of a 14-year-old.
Yep.
Left at home alone for the first time. My bag is filled with chocolate. I could live on pizza and cupcakes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
that would be my daily diet if I was left unattended. But I don't eat a lot of those wiser choices. And I know that when I look at something, my husband he starts talking to me, so I'm a little too distracted to, really inspect it. And then I'm eating it, and afterwards he's like, "You didn't taste that. You didn't taste the broccoli." I'm like, "I had broccoli." Ooh,
yeah.
But I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we have some extraordinary chefs on Staten Island.
Oh, absolutely.
That are doing like really amazing things. That could come in and volunteer a little of their time to show people healthy choices of how to create a meal with what you offer in a way that's more palatable.
And the thing is too, if you're going to the grocery store, you're trying to get something that's healthy, that's going to be more expensive.
Yes.
So the fact that we're able to give that healthier choice at the pantry, it's a big thing. But having a chef would be amazing, come in and give that demo, because I want people to know that, we know that it may not taste the greatest, but you can spice it up.
But you can make it better.
And you can make it taste better. You can drown it out with a little bit of spice, a little bit of this, and you wouldn't even know. And you should be eating healthy, especially if you're not eating enough. That's very important.
Camera one is on me. I'm calling out all the chefs in Staten Island that make, listen, I know you had a tough couple of years with COVID and everything, and everyone is struggling. But maybe if you went and you volunteered and you did a tasting and you brought your kid with you, you would feel so wonderful about yourself and the experience that you may want to do it again and invite another chef friend, because I know you guys are very cliquey. You'll hang out with each other because my husband's friends are the same way. So maybe you may want to do something like that. Just putting that out there. Go ahead.
And I will say, though, we get a variety of items at the pantry, and, not just food items sometimes. Right now I have disinfectant wipes, and although it just seems like that's important, especially, with germs going around, regardless of COVID, just regular normal germs, right? We need to clean our house regardless. And so we get things like that, and that's why donations are important.
Face masks.
Yeah, face masks that I'm giving out. Right now we're giving out menorahs and dreidels for Hanukkah. We're giving out books. Like I said, I'm always giving out books, but things like socks and pantyhose, and I've given out walkers and wheelchairs. These items are wanted.
There are so many. I mean, I had 2 different surgeries during the pandemic, and I donated my crutches that I left the hospital with when I had my knee done, and the big, huge brace. I mean, I'm lucky. I have insurance, and my insurance covered all of the extra things that other people's insurance won't. And the braces for my arm and stuff like that. I did my shoulder and my knee. And I donated everything, but it was like a real stretch to find somebody who wanted it. I'm like, the crutches are brand new. I used them to get from walking out of surgery into the car. And then in the house, I honestly didn't use I was supposed to, I know I'm supposed to, but I didn't use it in the house. And then I put it in the car and had to drive around. There are so many people like me who have those
You have stuff laying around the house, and sometimes people don't realize that, someone could really be using that.
Wheelchairs,
and like I said, a lot of them are seniors.
Yeah.
A lot of them, don't have access to these things, and they don't have health insurance, or they're on their way to get health insurance. And that's why I'm always taking anything. If I have the space to take it, I will take it. But I will say, PPE is something that's big that people look for. COVID
Right.
tests, masks, even sometimes gloves that people ask for. And then a lot of, like I said, a lot of things for babies. You know, people are always looking for that. We just did a coat drive also. I got rid of 108 coats to clients that I have. You know, with the winter coming up and this cold weather is getting very cold, very quick.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of my clients came in and, you know, they literally took the jacket off their back to put on this brand new jacket, and just the smile they had on their face to know they had a jacket that maybe didn't have holes in it, or a jacket that had a price tag of $200 that they would have never been able to get. You know, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And donations is something that I don't have enough of, and I need and want it to get out there. We need donations. Let me know about what you have. Tell me what you have, whether it's clothes, toys, books, anything for the toiletries.
Sure.
Toiletries are great. It's ongoing. You always need toothpaste. You always need shampoo. You always need a bar soap. I do prefer that everything is brand new, especially with a lot of the refugees and migrants that are coming over to America from, you know, their country to here. Our germs are different.
Sure.
They can get very sick off of something very little. So, you know, I do try to get things as, you know, new as possible. But I'm willing to take almost anything. Like, give me a call, tell me what you got. I'll even go on my own personal time and pick it up if I have to for my clients.
Well, Hanukkah starts soon.
Yep, we're getting there.
I believe, is it Monday?
So we're getting there. It's Monday. The official candle lighting will be happening.
And it would be nice if somebody who had extra toys from a toy drive would drop them off. I
we are
don't know if
currently
the show
doing-
is going to be able to air in time for that, but every kid should have a present under a tree or a menorah
Exactly.
or whatever they celebrate, but every kid deserves a present.
So we are currently doing a Hanukkah toy drive. I am not personally doing it. The schools are doing it, but it's JCC related, and I will promote everything and anything for them. So if this does air before then, that would be, you know, if anyone's looking to donate, all 4 of our school sites, early childhood sites, are taking donations for Hanukkah for toys.
Can they go to the JCC on Manor Road and donate anything?
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's where my pantry is. But we do have lots of locations, cornerstone locations, that are also looking for things also. You know, things can be dropped off at the main building, or they can be dropped off directly if they know, like, hey, like, I'm closer to this location.
I like your parking lot, that's why.
The
For
parking lot
people
is
like
very
me,
big.
yeah, we just want to park and go right in.
It's a very big parking lot.
Especially, you know, I still have that, although I love Brooklyn, I think I'll be forever scarred by, like, driving around Bay Ridge, 4 hours falling asleep waiting for a parking spot.
Oh, yeah.
You
So I
know,
used
we're
to go
not
to
having
work
enough
early for
quarters,
that.
even though now everything is muni meters and, you know, use your card. But the fact that you have a lot is just...
It is. And we have street parking as well. You
Yeah.
know, we are on Manor Road. You know, we do have the school, but especially on weekends, there's tons of spots. And, you know, it does make it convenient. Does make it convenient. There's a lot of things going on and happening on a daily basis at the JCC. And there's always programs going on, whether it be related to working out or sports or Mahjong or the basket weaving. Like, there's always something going on. So the parking
Do you
lot is
teach
usually
Mahjong?
fun. My grandma plays Mahjong. I'm not too sure on how to play it. But they
Because
do have a class, like not a class, but
I
a
belong to a
group.
beach club, and these women told me if I can learn the game, they will let me play with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know they get a little strict with the Mahjong.
Oh, no, they're great. I want in on this club. This is the retirement club.
Okay.
I can't wait to join their club and to, like, hang out with them at the beach club.
They
I'm like,
play every day in
Yes.
the back of Social Hall, Monday through Friday at the Bernical building. They are always playing.
So tell me, when I walk into the JCC, what am I going to see? What are...
Reception. Reception.
I just
Excuse
need
me.
to add that
Yeah, go.
for anything that is not food, it's best if you call first. You get in touch with Chris or you get in touch with me about donation because the space,
The space
is
is
limited.
limited,
So
yes.
we have to prioritize food.
But it does go quick. So,
Yeah.
you know, I could say, hey, I don't have room today, but in 2 days I might have room. So, but that is a good point, Paloma, to speak on. And what were we speaking of?
But
now?
should you have a large shipment of coats or anything like that,
Oh, yes.
everybody will find room, even if they have to store it in the trunk of their car, just to get that
We will
for
get
the
it
people in
done.
need.
Yeah.
But so you have this great reception area.
Yeah, so you walk into reception, there's always a security guard and receptionist. Sometimes
Makes them feel very safe.
It is a very welcoming entrance. There's a very nice, architectural structure thing that we have hanging from the ceiling, which is something that you could sit there and just watch it go. And our lobby is always filled with people. There's couches and chairs and tables, and you will always find people sitting in that area. There's also another common area upstairs as well, but if you're just talking about the first floor for now, like to the left we have our social hall, to the right we have early childhood, and as you make your way down the hallway, we have CLLD reception.
Hang on. Early childhood.
Early childhood. So there's 4 early childhood sites in total. We do have one at Burnacow building. Is like, they follow DOE guidelines. It's a great, if you're looking you're in the area, you need a great place for your child to go to school. Highly recommended.
Is it preschool,
yes.
3K, 4K by any chance?
Yeah. So I have 6 years experience in pre-K, and I will tell you they run an amazing program over there. Even at their other 3 sites, the woman who runs it, absolutely fantastic. Her name is Jane. It's a very good thing, and
it's because it's really hard to find like
good
the
to find
right
a good
yes,
quality,
the right spot that's safe, and yeah.
Absolutely. And you have to be buzzed in and out of the school, so it's a very safe environment. They have 2 double doors as the main entrance, so you would have to get buzzed into both before you get in. And then from the main building, you would have to get buzzed in to get in, and there's only 1 or 2 entrances from there, so it makes it feel very safe.
My 22-year-old, when I was looking for places, because I went back to work like a month and a half after I had her, I walked into one place. I walked in, opened the door, and the kids were right there. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And they were very friendly. And I looked at them. I was like, I'm not sending my kid here, because anybody could open the door and take her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
they
not
have
that my kid is the one that you want to steal, but in my mind, she is the one you want to steal. And like,
absolutely.
I just know. So I think it's important to know that there are just so many levels built into the process.
There's cameras all through. I feel very safe working there, and for me to feel very safe there, and I don't feel safe in a lot of places, but I feel safe working there. Our security, especially during like the day, we have a gentleman named John, and in the afternoon we have Cameron. They're an amazing people. They would do anything to protect anyone that's inside the JCC. So I will give them a lot of kudos on that.
That's
it is a welcoming thing to see when you see that guard sitting right there.
So that's to the right.
So that's to the right, and as you keep going down, we have a nice big staircase that goes up to the 2nd floor. But before we even get to the 2nd floor, you keep going down the hallway. We have reception for the seniors. We also have the cafe area with a sitting area, so you can have breakfast, lunch, or dinner if you're there that way.
And purchase it there?
And purchase it there, absolutely. And then there's a nice space in the back where you can overlook the pool, so you can see what's going on if your kid's maybe in swim lesson, or whatever the case may be, you can look at that. And then there's a gym off to the back left corner. Full gym, very big full gym. We host a lot of job fairs there, as well as sporting events. But then moving upstairs, we have admin, of course, our admin suite. We have a nice room that we can have meetings in, the presidential room. And then moving down the hallway, we have a teen lounge, which is used for after-school programs, and then during the day for senior programs, as well as the CLD office that's in the back. We have a 2nd gym, and then we also have music rooms off to the left.
Really?
So, and that's another thing that they offer is music
We have
lessons.
a lot of cultural programs at the JCC.
Tell me about the music programs.
Music program is, sorry, I just blanked out.
I mean, is it music, like you can go take classes?
So you can take
Music
lessons,
lessons, they have classes, they have seminars, they have presentations, they have
So if
events.
somebody's interested in learning to play the piano or guitar
Absolutely.
or flute,
They
sax,
do lessons,
whatever.
and I will say that these people really group together, and you'll just see them out in the hallway just strumming together, and like it's a sense of connection and that sense of welcoming that you get at the JCC is like it creates this community. So
Right.
you're there for your lesson, but then you're hanging out for another 2 hours just strumming away.
Yeah.
They're
If
always
you want
playing.
to learn
Impromptu jam.
ukulele, they have ukulele lessons.
Oh, they're always in the hallway.
That's very popular right
Yes,
now.
Yeah.
it is. And we have a CLLD department, as Chris mentioned, and
Explain what that is.
It's a program that anybody 60 and older can join.
I'm not there yet. One more year.
We have all sorts of classes, like art classes. We have talks. We have benefits that we can help them apply to. We have case assistance for seniors. It's amazing. It's a really, really great program. And it's all free of charge for the CLLD seniors.
Wow.
They also serve lunch every day in Social Hall if you are a member. They go on trips. They've been here to the studio. They do a lot of really amazing things in that program, and my grandma's a part of that, and she volunteers for them, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Does she ever sneak over and watch you and what you're doing?
She knows she's not allowed in the basement. I'm all the way in the sub-basement because we have the first floor, we have the second floor, but then we have a basement, and then we have a sub-basement.
If I was your grandmother, I'm sorry, I'd be sneaking down there just doing a visual check.
Yeah, every
Because
now
I don't
and
care
then.
how old you are, you still,
I go to see her. I usually
Okay.
like to spend
You're
my
making
lunch
it
break.
easier for her.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
go up, I hang out with her, get lunch, and just hang out and help out.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So, and then there's also, like I said, there's a basement and sub-basement. So when it comes to the basement, I mean, we have like our social service offices. There are some offices, but then there's a media room, there's an art room, there's some
What about
spin
your media
classes.
room?
So the media room they have is more or less for day hab. They go in there. We have a day hab program for mentally challenged adults. That is another amazing program that a lot of people don't know that we have at the JCC. So they primarily use that room, but the arts and craft rooms is a lot of the programs, like the classes that they offer for CLLD is done in those rooms. We have spin classes, so we have exercise rooms. We have a washer and dryer type room, so like to teach the the day hab participants on like life skills. As well, we have our own transportation unit. So if you are a member of the CLLD, they will pick you up and bring you to the JCC and bring you back. So
Wow.
we have our own transportation unit.
Or we can help them getting
Assist them.
accessorized.
Accessoride, or and if it's one of my clients, there's ways that we can help with that too. But continuing around the basement, we have the pool, we have the gym. We have a couple more offices, like when it comes to sport and rec. Our aquatics department is all down
How
there as
many
well.
pools do you have?
The pool is we have one pool indoor and we have one pool outdoor, as well as a hot tub, steam room, and sauna in the locker rooms with showers.
Wow.
So there's a lot to take in when you walk through the JCC.
It seems like it's almost like a retirement center experience without having your condo unit there.
Everything's there.
Everything that you would want to do,
You don't
you
need
just
to
go
do
home
much.
and go to sleep.
Yep, that's it. And a lot of these members that we have, they spend their whole day there, because there's that much to do.
Right.
Whether they come in the morning, go on a trip, come back, they have lunch, they have a class afterwards, then they hang out for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're
it's
getting
important
food.
because sometimes people work their whole lives and they're accustomed to their routines and the work habits, and when they retire, it's everything. Their whole social service network is gone, and the thought of sitting home is where you start to enter into those dark areas where you're going to age rapidly, your memory's going to start to go. It's important to be engaged.
Yeah.
And having that type of experience where it's, you have so many different options and programs available to people.
And that's how I get a lot of my volunteers is, a lot of people, they retire and they said, I don't know how to just sit home and do nothing. And that's how I get a lot of
Well,
my
I don't want to
volunteers.
sit home and do nothing.
Yeah,
I can't.
it's but you know what? It benefits me.
Yeah.
It benefits the pantry. It benefits the JCC, and it keeps them going. My grandma always said, when you stop moving, you're dead. So
Yeah.
you keep on moving, keep on doing something.
I feel like if I, and people who know me know that I'm crazy. It's 7 days a week I'm going. If I stopped everything, I would probably get Alzheimer's, and I'm just
Some
too
of
busy.
them are also finding themselves in a situation where they are not making as much money as before, and they don't know how to ask for help or what kind of help they could get. And some people that we signed up for the pantry started asking about what kind of benefits they could apply to, and just talking to them, trying to find out about their situation, they ended up confiding, you know what, I could use some free food, but I don't think I have the right to use the pantry. That the pantry is for people that
Who
really
are
needs it.
less fortunate.
And then I look at them and say, well, do you really need it right now? And this can be a temporary solution for you. It doesn't have to be forever, but for now, for today, you need it. So please go visit Chris, sign up, and they end up understanding that this is there for them. This is part of the taxes too that they were paying their whole life.
Sure.
This is all of those programs that they can use, and sometimes you have to kind of convince them that way. You know, you're entitled to this. There's no
when
stigma.
everybody turns around and they want to buy a gift, nobody wants anything they have to dust. I mean, at least I know I don't. And I look at the stuff I have in my house, and I know my husband and I were talking about it the other day, and I went, our kids don't want this stuff. Like, we have way too much stuff, and like, what are we going to do with this? They have their own lives. They don't want what I thought was, you know, maybe a couple of things. Maybe,
Yeah.
You know, jewelry, a couple of pieces of clothing, a couple of pieces of artwork, but the majority, we have too much stuff. Everybody has too much stuff. So buying a membership to the JCC supports all of these important programs.
It really does.
Yes.
And the person who gets it knows that they're going to have a great experience, and the money is benefiting so many. You know, art classes, music classes, just, my gosh, instead of joining another gym, you can join that gym. Or you can send your kid to camp and pay for that camp, knowing that it's such a snowball effect.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, being at the JCC is really an all-stop shop. Like, that's a good investment, you know?
Yeah.
And you are. Like, that money's going to really, really good things, and not just with the food pantry, but, you know, every program that we have. But if it wasn't for our members, what would it be either, you know?
Also, you know, there's a lot of opportunities for people to go and have parties in a lot of places. I've heard, I have not been invited to anybody's party at the JCC yet. That might change after this show. I might receive an invitation. Somebody will turn around and say, I'm having an event and you're invited. But I hear you guys throw some shindigs there.
Yeah, there's a lot of events that go on there, and, you know, not just parties. You know, our social hall, of course, could be rented out for anything. We've had DA's office in there throwing seminars. We did, a couple of months ago, you know, I was involved, you know, with our Career Connections, you know, Kathy, who runs that. And we did a Thrive event for women in there. You know, we do so many different types of events. There's just so many different things. And we also do movies with the seniors.
Really?
CLLD also have movie nights that they do. So there's just, and they have little parties. They also, if you're a student, if you're a camp member, let's say, for the camp over the summer, they throw parties with a DJ and the lights, and they really make it special for the kids. So we definitely throw some good stuff.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that this is an organization that everybody may know about, but really needs to find out more about.
Absolutely.
And tell me a little bit about is the catering room named?
It's B&Y Catering. You can find them on Facebook, B&Y Catering.
So like if I wanted to turn around and maybe do a fundraiser.
They will cater it. They will drive it right to you. He is a regular catering hall. He is housed in the JCC.
And it's kosher catering.
And it's all kosher catering.
But again, it's a lot of stuff that we eat that we just don't realize.
I eat so much kosher food now. And I will say his pastrami sandwich and his falafel, amazing.
I've had the very good fortune of being very close to a particular family in Staten Island that were very large kosher caterers. And I had the grandchildren in my school. I used to turn around and tell, you know, the grandpa who was the guy that his hands were kissed by God. So as other kids would come for the holidays and bring me, you know, boxes of chocolate, which of course everybody knows I love chocolate and all the rest of that stuff, I would get a container and more like a, you know, a frozen pack box with brisket. Holy cow, when those kids left that school and I still continued to get brisket, I was like, how lucky am I? The other people are like, oh, I got a basket of, you know, a fruit and stuff like that as a present because we can't take cash presents, but we can take food. I was like, I'm getting brisket. You can't go wrong with brisket. I mean, brisket's like probably one of the best presents I've ever received.
I love food, so I will say the best gift for me is food. Anyone that knows me, even my clients know that I love food, and I am surrounded by food all day. and I can't go wrong with it. A nice gift, nice little hot meal.
Oh my gosh. So we have about 3.5 minutes left. Take it, roll with it, and at the end, I'll stop you to thank everybody. Just share everything that you want about your second family, which is the JCC.
The website is amazing. It has everything that we have been talking about explained. There are sections where you can even fill questionnaires about what kind of trainings you would like to see in the future, business training, connections, what would you like to learn? We are now running OSHA trainings, green energy, it's the future for jobs.
Sure.
So we are getting into that too, trying to equip future generations with all of the tools that they're going to need. So that's
OSHA training is something most people don't realize what that is, and
Very
it's
important.
very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
you need that certification if you want to work in construction. The IT trainings that we have are amazing, too. And then that's everything on the website.
And if you always
Information
want
about the pantry, too.
Facebook, I will say we have an amazing marketing team that tries to get as much as they can onto social media. And like one thing that we can ask people is share it. Like share our post. There's a Staten Island JCC page. There's a Burn a Cow JCC page. There is a social service page coming out now.
We're just starting it, so we're going
Just
to
for
start
us.
posting there.
So share it, get it out there, because that's how, everybody sees it on social media.
Right.
Marketing is so important to the JCC, because without them, no one would even know anything about what's going on.
Right.
And they do such amazing work with, all their posts, and they take a lot of time and a lot of effort putting these things together. And the only thing we can ask for is please share it.
Do you have Instagram? Do you have Twitter? Do you have TikTok? Do you have all of that?
I believe there's like a whole array of social media accounts that we have.
We
So
do. We do have all of that.
It's whatever's out there, we
Please
got it.
follow everything.
Follow it all.
Yeah, look at everything and follow everything. What would be the one thing on your wish list that if you just had the available resources that you would bring there tomorrow, that you would love to have,
At the
that somebody may be
pantry?
watching and might be able to help you with?
I will say, right now, my giving drive has ended, but I'm still collecting. The asylum seekers on Staten Island are in big need.
Yeah.
And I would love to see, anything for babies 0 to 18 months. Any type of toiletries that you could possibly imagine. Like I said, toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, socks, underwear, things like that. Food donations are always very, very, very appreciated. Like I said, and I touched on it before, like there is a little bit of a food shortage going on. A lot of pantries are feeling it. And the more we can get, the more I can give out. And if I can get people to donate food, as long as it's kosher, I'm going to make sure it gets to the people that need it.
Sponsors. We always need sponsors for different programs.
That's important too.
Yes.
Are all your buildings named already? All your rooms named?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
I'm sure.
I think we can find you some rooms.
It's funny
Yeah.
because my father-in-law, who ran the zoo, used to turn around and say the names are only attached with screws, and he would joke around. Everybody's name and they gave big to keep the zoo one of the crown jewels on Staten Island, but he would turn around always and say, "If you want, I can put your name up there," And
Yeah.
he was king of fundraising. Maybe somebody out there watching may want to turn around and have a building named after them, or a section named after them, or a room, or a program, or something, even transportation van, something like that.
Always willing to take in, if anybody wants to have an idea, cool,
That's the key.
cool.
I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the JCC for sharing their wonderful crew with me. And please, give. Think about others instead of buying the 40th or 50th pair of shoes. Think about somebody else who has none. Thank you so much.